very much. I'd like to thank the organizers of this wonderful festival for their generous invitation, and to Banuzan for thinking of me as one of the 3 poets reading here today. I'm going to start with a couple of poems from my earliest collection. The first one is titled Man, Woman, Machine. And I've always been very interested in the relationship between people and machines. When man approaches the machine, he imagines woman made of squares and digits, her mouth soundless and moist. Stars appear. The keys multiply, curve into soundless universe where man hums the tune of desire, sudden and restless. Speaking in foreign tongues, he digs a new foundation for the Tower of Babel, while his armies leave the motherland behind. When woman approaches the machine, her love recoils into outlets where it lives on the edge with noise. Mad queen bee, she employs machine and imagines her fruit slowly transformed into finished delicacies, which she quarters like an interminable body of uncooked flesh. Prisoner of its functions, woman delights at the efficiency of machine, celebrates sucking noises of her mechanical companion as they travel the expanding universe of her home. When machine approaches man and woman, subjects of disunity, it wanders lost, pounding its anger at plastic surfaces, screaming out complaints at the wireless instrument that replicate childhood, with the melancholy of dark omens, perpetual metals that explode in the night. It cries, longing for that first happiness, the spectacular moment contained in the peals of laughter of mothers and fathers at play in the first country of happiness. Thank you. I'm going to read. Many of you have been to many job interviews, I assume, for jobs that we didn't get, right? Anyway, this is called The Interviews. Working girl pumps the leopard skin hat, readies her fingernails to go meet the relentless interviewer. Momentarily, she forgets that she's walking in neurotic dogs that wear high heels and corsets of self-pity. Her fear is timely. The room is dead. She's poised. The questions come down, sewn in velvet, but she can't hear them. Her brain is constructed backwards. Luck enters. Her inner keyboard begins to work. Black letters pour out of her mouth, dissolve as they touch the gulf between her and the inquisitor who remains invisible to the working girl's eyes. Her gaze faces inward where her interviewer is holding firmly to his pen, writing out her sentence in blood. This poem is about seeing your ancestors, having a vision. It's dedicated to the memory of my father, Joseph Hausner. The title of the poem is Cowhead. It's a beach in the western shores of Newfoundland. The ancestors have reached their destination. Invisible threads brought them to the sun-drenched beach at Cowhead. Ash turned to bone, molded by the hands of the silent one, whose hymns dampened the wind with omens, stirring bitter servings of darkness and weeping. A thread of blood pushes the pale train which never stops crossing the night, howling deep inside the gears of the engine, tearing the tongue apart. Their story is the story of all prey caught in the jaws of the automated dog, its mantra of death systematically repeated year after year inside the proverbial whale. Beached in the western shores of Newfoundland, its eyes silently watches as mourners who shout our prayers to the north of that other season for answers. Only their muted suffering remains ticking silently in the frozen water. These are my dearly reparted, prisoners of the machine, the digital precision of their worn tattoos now turned inward, alive in this heart, beating at the gates of pain. A single glass of water illuminates the world. Some of you might know that I'm a librarian. I was a librarian by day, and my latest book, She Who Lies Above, is very concerned about knowledge and information and what is happening to it. And it's set in Alexandria, where the first library was established. It was the first real place where knowledge was organized and made available systematically. This is just a piece at the end of this book. Final meditation on the meaning of libraries. Indistinctness obliterates things, says my ghost, quoting her shadow. Ever the classificationist, I have finally determined to catalog my dead joys. I am starting my careful placing of them in an order that replicates the relations between species, genus, and other horizontal hierarchies. Were these methods especially devised to bring reasoning to the manuscripts in the ancient library? I ask myself. I have my own ghostly reasons for thinking as much. Some other librarian dispelled the queries and rendered moot all notion of organizing and classifying the word objects others had so carefully studied for years. At Alexandria, a person once wrote, the temple could easily be confused with the sacred library. Upon entering, the visitor read above the portal, the place of the cure of the soul. There followed images of all the Egyptian divinities. To each the devout would offer suitable gifts, thereby demonstrating how Osiris and the lesser gods had lived in piety and justice towards men and gods all their lives. Someone lightly sewed their tongues out, one to the other, a voice inside me utters timidly. I aim not to intervene, nor imply that certain omens may be manifest there, replies my second voice. Written indications of things announce a language like the needle I use to pierce the night from side to side. We find ourselves inside darkest time, says my first voice. We've arrived at a beach. It is night, and we're making our way, cleaving the moist sand with our feet, concludes my second voice. In the distance, further down the shore, rise two immense statues. They gain movement, make noisy sounds. They are us, representations of the same subject from a different point of view.